Hello.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're okay to record and to go live.
I got dressed. I got dressed just for this. So
That is great to see. Well, I believe we're live, and oh, that is a close up of my face.
uh,
That's kind of scary.
yeah, I'm about this big. Good size. No, it's nice. It's good.
Well,
You got me.
there's always a bit of a delay when we go live, so I think I believe we're live. If anybody is watching live, and if we are live, then please let us know in the chat.
That's what I just sent a text. Can you see anything? But it doesn't matter, right? It's on your YouTube channel later.
Yeah, we're live. I can see myself now. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Adventure Games podcast. I am delighted to be joined here by actor and author David Lee Homb, one of the stars of Phantasmagoria. You may have heard of that game. It was quite popular. It still is, I believe. And an author as well. You just wrote a book of poetry,
Yes.
and you have it there, I believe. Awake I Dream, which we'll be talking about as well. And if we're lucky enough, hopefully David can maybe read a few poems from the book to us. So, well, first of all, hello, David. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. How are things in Ireland?
Very good. I think we both had storms at the opposite ends of the ocean. You were saying,
Have storm now. So, like I said, we may have to switch to my phone to finish the meeting if I get knocked off because it's storm here. If a squirrel farts here, we lose power. We lose internet. Ridiculous.
yeah, sounds like Ireland a bit as well. We can't deal with any type of extreme weather.
No.
I
Ireland's
don't know
on
about
my
Texas.
Ireland's definitely on my bucket list. My neighbor across the street, his family goes way back. He's got the lineage to show, which is something 99% of Americans don't have, or 90%. They don't even know who their great grandparents were, let alone their where they were from. He's got it all the way back to castles, and he's got some great uncle or something fought in the Alamo, or so much.
Yeah,
I'm a
no,
mutt. I'm a mutt. I'm not from this planet originally, so don't I don't even know what.
Yeah, I heard you mention that on another interview that I saw. So, well, are any of us really from other planets? We could go on.
Well, I would too. I love that stuff.
Cool. Well, you appeared in, as I mentioned, Phantasmagoria, which is still about 25 years later, still really popular. Still, people are talking about it a lot today, as they did back then. So, first of all, congratulations on that. Congratulations on your book as well, which has gotten some fantastic reviews. I saw on Amazon and Goodreads. So clearly, you're doing things right. If appeared in this successful game and written this successful book. So, but first of all, before we talk about those, I wanted to ask you, just to get started, how did you get started in acting? First of all, when did you get started in acting? How did you receive, shall we say, the call or the calling to be an actor?
Well, the first time I was actually asked ever to do something was in 7th grade, 6th grade. I did little school plays and stuff, but I mean, to actually do something was my 7th grade teacher. And you get to choose, a couple classes. And there wasn't drama class yet, so it was speech. So I took it. And she talked me into, because of, like you said, the personality, the aura, and whatever. And voice and all that. Even then, she said, "You be good, do this." And so I ended up winning the whole thing, and that was 7th grade, and that was the first time I ever had a thought, this might be a good direction. Astronaut, everything else kind of got pushed to the side. I thought, I could play one. I don't have to actually do all that.
So you found that you really enjoyed acting then?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in plays since I was 5 or something, mostly plays, until my mid to late 20s.
Okay.
Then it all switched to film, and then the interactive, the new media, CD-ROM, and ending up with Phantas, and then I did a little thing for Poe and Monroe last year.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Another very popular game, FMV game.
Great folks, and I was in Europe, in Amsterdam, so I did it on the computer like this with you.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, that was unusual.
Because FMV is making a bit of a comeback. From what I see, there's a company called Wales Interactive, which I believe is a British company, and they are making more FMV games and interactive games. They made a game called The Complex, which was released right before COVID, and with really high production values, and which was really good, and several other games like that. So, I'm delighted to see that. So you started in theater, you said in plays, and then you moved to movies, to films. So you appeared in films before Phantasmagoria, correct? You were already
Yeah.
acting at that stage.
By the time I did Phantas, I think I'd already co-starred or starred, about 30.
Oh wow! So you're already experienced at that stage.
Yeah, well, well, all actors, when they're moving out to Hollywood, they don't realize, 5% of the movies, if that, or, ever in a theater, out of all the movies made. Now, then it goes, classes B, C, whatever. My first one was most definitely a C movie, but it was a very famous B movie director. I think he died shortly after that. It was called Monstrosity. I've never seen it. Probably was Monstrosity.
Can't
It
say
was
I've seen
fun.
it
I was
either.
living in a van. I just would drive to where the set's going to be the next day, have them knock on, wake me up. It was a lot of fun to make. But come from all the theater and then, really wanted to make a statement in your first film, At that point, I didn't even realize 16 millimeter from 35 to, whatever. But back then we always, we shot film. I love the digital now. Shoot. Next thing I shoot, I'm gonna have 4 cameras shooting constantly. Everything. Back then, you just shot whatever your short ends or whatever you had, one take, or 2 occasionally.
Oh wow, 2 takes if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah. It was the best practice could have had. I did an interview one time with I think it was Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and by then I was doing a couple of the classes in town too. And they were always just packed, standing room only. I had so much fun doing that as well. But one of the reporters was in there and watched and came up to me afterwards and said, I've watched a lot of classes, a lot of workshops, and never seen anything like that. And I mean, that's advanced a lot of, if they really took it and got it, what you said. And I said, yeah, I came to that conclusion about movie 12, 13, 14, that most of the people I'd ever studied with, and I took lots, but they hadn't actually done that side. They hadn't actually, starred in, don't matter if it's a B movie or not.
Yeah, just the very fact that you're in movies, I think is itself at the time. You're getting your breaks and you're working and you're getting into those movies and building up, because then you got Phantasmagoria.
Well, on my 10 to-do list, when I moved to Hollywood in a van, it was try to star in at least 3 movies.
Well, you achieved that and then some.
Yeah, yep.
And
everything but one thing on the list, so that was good. I had fun. I had a lot of luck.
No, that's good, but that's great. And did you ever go back and watch any of these movies? I know you mentioned you didn't watch Monstrosity. Did you go back and watch any of the others?
I can't find half of them. Fans,
that's the problem.
We'll post something like on the YouTube or something, and it's a clip from a movie that I can't find. I don't know where they're finding them at, but I've only seen like 7 or 8 of them. I would like to, because it helps.
So you don't mind watching yourself on screen, because I believe some actors, they don't like watching themselves again in the movie. So you don't mind watching yourself in movies?
As narcissistic as I am? Are you kidding? I've got a shirt that says my soulmate is David Homb. I didn't make the shirt. I had to buy one. I don't know who made it, but had to get one.
Well, no, that's great. So you appeared in some movies. That's so Aurora Restoration Project. For anyone watching on video or listening,
yeah, go to Aurora Restoration Project. I'll tell you real quick. That's a buddy of mine that it said he was going to restore a boat, then he corrected later and said ship. That was like the premier, one of the 3 or 4 from the 50s, 40s premier cruise liner, which there were virtually none. And then it got used for different purposes. And when he first sent me the pictures, it looked like the biggest rust. I went, dude, I've had friends restore cars, or maybe a twin engine overboard, outboard, inboard bass boat or something, but a whole ship.
Yeah.
And he's doing a wonderful job. I mean, it's just incredible. So, I know people were talking to him about doing, like a Netflix documentary or mockumentary, whatever it is.
Oh,
So, yeah,
that'd be
might help
interesting.
him out on that. That would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, well, we can talk more about that later. I'll be very, very curious to know if that pans
Dude,
out.
that's all you get. That's all you get.
That's all we get for the
There you
interview.
go. That shirt's gone. Go to the next.
So nothing about Phantasmagoria then.
I got the costume here somewhere.
Oh yes.
I was fortunate. I put it in my contract to keep my wardrobe.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm the only one that ended up with that. So when I get to go to a Comic-Con,
You can go dressed as Don then.
you know what? Now I really hadn't looked into a lot of the Comic-Cons or anything like that until recent. I started a couple of invites that I couldn't make, and then I was looking, and I was a little well, it's just a way I think. I mean, these people are charging such money.
Mm.
I mean, like $60 for a selfie, and then they're not even getting up from behind the desk.
Yeah.
People over the table going, unbelievable. I want to have a nice little place where I can say, come here, give me a hug or something.
And so you can see them.
Yeah. I said to someone's putting the press package together, I said, I'm $20 for a selfie. Yeah, Jesus. 25 for 2. How about that? And they said, you'll probably throw a third one in to all of them. I said, I sure might. I said, but see, that's reasonable. This I don't know. I just it's hard to the fans. I mean, such everything. I just love it. I just want to be there around all the people. I haven't met anybody. Thousands of friends all over the freaking world.
Yeah, that's the thing. We know each other online, and then it was only I was in London 2 weeks ago for Adventure X, and it was only then that I got to meet most people that I knew online, that I got to meet them in person. And I was like, oh, so that's you in person, which yeah, no, it'd be great. And if you do get to go to Comic-Con, I'm sure a lot of people either watching or listening would love to go and meet you as well. So hopefully,
good, invite me.
I'll see if we can get you over to Dublin. I'd be happy to.
It's on my bucket. That'd be great. That pays for the airfare right there, and I get to see Ireland. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So then going back, so you said that you were into movies, and then how did you? Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. I do have a bit of a chest infection, so if I do cough, I will try and put myself on mute. But
you don't have to wear a mask. I'm good with that.
That's true. We don't have to wear a mask. We're online. But how did you first hear about Phantasmagoria, and what appealed to you to audition?
Well, and I only found all this out briefly recently. I mean, because I've had some help getting some things getting things together, and so in '93. I changed agents and had a little yellow sticky note like this that someone just found and said, what is this? And I looked at it and I said, I honestly don't even remember doing the job. But there's a picture of me in a toga, like a Greek philosopher. And it said Rand McNally. I think it was a 2-day shoot, SAG scale, whatever. And a note from my agent saying, this is '93. David, Rand McNally, they make maps and stuff. They want you for this new media CD-ROM. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just a couple days. That's how I got that job. I went, oh, okay, we'll give it a go.
Just a couple of days.
And then they had a thing in '94 that I think was Electronic Arts. I'm not sure. I'd forgotten all about doing that too, but it was a big audition thing because it was a union thing and first union SAG or something. Because Tori, Victoria, and I and Phantasmagoria, I think, were contract 1 and 2 for AFTRA. Now it's all SAG AFTRA, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Nothing I never even realized until recently. But so, and then when Phantas came up, and the Electronic Arts or whatever that was, hell, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, that was a green screen with an LED suit. And, Phantas, let's see. I was at a casino playing a slot machine. I had that big ass phone, that's like, looks like an army guy carries.
One of those big phones back then.
Back then, it was like $500 a month, and you didn't have signal. You couldn't go around the block without, But it looked cool. It was a pain in the ass to carry around. But I was playing a slot machine, and I answered the phone, and it was a casting director I'd worked for, and a couple other pictures. Said, interested in a computer game? And I went, a pixel character? I don't even own a computer. Nobody don't even know who I am. I'm just going to keep playing right now. I just checked into the hotel, but I went back to LA the next day and met Roberta and Victoria and Peter and Mark Woods and Mark Hood, and I think that was it. And within, very short hours, Victoria and I clicked like that.
Yeah. In the game, I've only played the first 3 chapters, as I told you before we started recording, because real life got in the way. I moved house, changed job, blah blah blah. But I do hope to get back to it in the next couple of weeks because I'm really enjoying it. But from what I have played, the two of you have really good chemistry in the game. Before your character, which I'm sure we'll talk about, before he gets all murderous.
Well, I didn't know how he was going to get to that extreme. I do remember Roberta saying, "No, this guy gets really crazy," and I said, "I was raised with all sisters. Really crazy, I could be, no problem." So, and then when I got off the plane in Oakhurst, up where we shot it, they built this nice studio, which was like 10,000 square feet, blue screen. It was pretty amazing. In fact, everybody that's been ordering my book, it's well, actually, I think I've done it to everybody. Started just to do it if they were on my friends list, or forget family. This is just for fans. I've been because I took so many photos back then. There were no cell phones, so they had cameras back then. And you bought 3 for $10, and then you took your 24 photos. You took it, and they mailed it off, and got 2 copies of each photo. So I've been including a couple photos with everybody's book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nobody will have these. These are on the set, making of, in makeup.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Cool little things.
So it was all blue screen then. So you got the audition, you got the part. First of all, were you aware of Seoirse or Roberta Williams at the time before you got the part? Or was this all new to you?
No, I was not. And I feel ashamed to say that, but
no, don't be.
No, I wasn't. I didn't even own a computer. Neither did Victoria. Yeah. I'm not. Hardly any of my friends had a computer then.
Well, this is it. A lot of people. Now we all have computers, but back in the 90s, which the olden days, the 1990s.
My phone now is better than the first 6 computers I ever owned.
Well, I believe that the phones that we have, that there's more gigabytes or whatever than what NASA used to get to the moon. So
that's right. There's a lot more,
which is crazy. But yeah. So now I don't actually know that much about the making of the game. I was just reading more about it. Obviously, I've heard of the game and I've heard people talk about it. But it sounds fascinating what Seoirse did and how they made it. So this was also, there were no sets. Is that correct? It was all blue screen.
Yeah, I was saying. So I got off the little bitty prop plane in Oakhurst and got handed the script. Should have brought it in here, but it's like this big. It's huge.
Yes, big script I was reading, that much bigger than most Hollywood screenplays.
Yeah, 130, 190 pages, maybe 80, 180. I went, wow. I said, what is this about? because I really and he goes, it's like The Shining, man, you know, but you get real possessed. I went, okay. Yeah, she said I'd be getting real crazy. And how are we doing this? He goes, play like a movie, man. And then you gotta tell the girl where to go. And I thought, that's cool. Then I got there and there's no sets. I had the camera. My cigarettes were real.
Okay.
Bottle of absinthe and Jack Daniels was real. Sometimes with real stuff in it, but usually not. But and there was a real cat, but the scene's like I'm playing with a cat. I wasn't actually holding the cat, so the camera was real.
Okay.
The costumes was real. Yeah, but everything else was just improv, make believe. I didn't have any idea for a while at all what it was going to appear like. A few 3 weeks into it, Roberta and Ken took us over to the main, the people making the game. We got the fun part. There was just so many people sitting at a screen and they're playing little sections, and then I looked and I was like, whoa, that's the house we're in. I was thinking big castle-like house. That's a hotel.
It's something. And actually, from playing the beginning of the game, and I'm thinking, if I see that house, I am not going into the house, let alone buying it. I am staying well away from that house.
What about losing your keys in there? I lose my keys here for hours at a time.
It's a massive house and very, very strange as well. I'm thinking, oh my God, and your character Dawn, but Adrienne, that house where the two you could move in. And that's the thing, that your character was being nice to Adrienne. And then when you moved into the house, that's when everything started to go crazy. But actually, I found online a trailer for the game, which shows kind of behind the scenes, show kind of the blue screen as well. So just to give people watching the video an idea, maybe what it looked like. Would you like to watch that, David?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's see now if I can do
how
this.
can I make my damn screen bigger so I can see?
If I can do this.
I know you can do it. I know you can.
Oh, here we go. Share screen. Okay, so this will be seamless. So I'm going to share a trailer, one of the trailers for Phantasmagoria. And what interested me about the trailer was that this kind of showed a little bit of behind the scenes, so people can kind of get an idea of what it was like, and then we can continue to talk more, because I'm really fascinated how you guys managed to film this and the direction you got from Roberta and the director. But here is a trailer, hopefully the correct trailer of Phantasmagoria with behind the scenes footage. So hopefully it will work. So please enjoy. Coming from Roberta Williams. Hope this is the correct trailer. Oh yes.
Yeah, I got lots of stuff like this.
Spiritus
Yeah, that was the first trailer. They didn't even have footage of me yet. Or,
No,
you know,
yeah, I forgot to mention that. But we saw, so for people listening, we saw the first trailer, and part of the trailer, we saw what it was like to film behind the scenes with the blue screen. We saw Victoria, played Adrienne, in front of a mirror. The mirror seemed real, but then everything else, which was putting makeup on, that seemed real, or at least the prop was real. But everything else, the walls and everything, was just put in afterwards. And I was reading that Sierra built a studio for that game, which, I mean, I think that's unheard of. That to spend, and I think I don't know, I think the budget was about 800,000. It ended up costing them 4.5 million. And I was reading that caused some friction between Roberta and Ken Williams. That Ken was, I believe, like, how much is this going to cost us? But I mean, what I love is that Sierra, took these risks, because something like that, if that had been a flop, it could have really ended the company, but it turned out to be a huge success.
It could have ended the company. It really could have.
Could have been like Heaven's Gate, but
Roberta was great. I was looking at my script recently. When I maybe go to a Comic-Con, I'll maybe make a couple copies, because hers is in a museum. I got mine, and that's pretty much it. And fortunately, I got some storyboards, because all this stuff was destroyed. Just put a dumpster and burnt. Ken Williams told me that some of the employees went dumpster diving trying to salvage some things. But I found, like 6 storyboards out of one section, and that's the only ones I know of that exist. And that museum's wanted my costume and script, but I didn't want to stick them somewhere where I couldn't put them on and go trick or treating.
So what was it like? So then filming, and you said that you everything afterwards, you're told. What was the direction that you were given then? So were you able? Did they say, well, this is a big house, and this is how your character is, and this is the walls are here, and just anything? So how did they help you? Did you have like what is it? Stick with a tennis ball? Could you see anything?
Like in that trailer, the rendition of what it actually looked like. All we got, for a good little while, all I ever saw was blue paneling, blue this. This is a bathroom. This is a, to both of us, they said, wait a minute, step left, because you're in the ballroom. Oh, now you're in the baby's room. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Roberta, she was great. She knew what she wanted, and it was she was wonderful to work with. That's one of the funnest jobs, I think, for both Victoria and I. Definitely. I wish, well, it's just like the first movies, you do. Wish you knew a little more then. But I didn't even know, what it was going to look like on the screen.
Of course, yeah.
I tried to play it right now. I'm sure I would kill myself over and over and over and over.
Yeah, no, it's
I have the script out going, what do I do?
Well, first of all, in the chat, David Watts, hello, David. Another David. He said, David seems like he'd be a laugh to hang out with. He means you, I presume, unless he talks about himself, which I don't think he is. But I agree. But if anybody in the chat has any questions for David here about your time as as an actor in Phantasmagoria, about your book, which we'll get on to, please put them in the chat, and I'll be happy to put them to you.
Are they typing questions to you that you can see, or
yes, on the YouTube link.
Oh, cool.
So I will read them out if anybody has any questions. But okay. So speak now or forever hold your silence.
I'm going to let's see. Look, I'm always I'm still learning this new phone. I love it. Still learning it, but I wonder if I can go from here to WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, and let people know you're online.
Well, Tess, she wrote such a great interview. Let's see here. There we go. I think there we go. Well, just keep asking while I'm trying to figure this out.
Sure. Well, no, I mean, take your time first of all. But then, so I imagine that you were saying that you were told what to do and that it was a lot of fun. Was it challenge? So you went from working on in the theater and movies, and now this interactive video game. Was it challenging with a huge script as well, and with just a blue screen? Would you have liked to have been on a real set, or did you enjoy working on the blue screen using your imagination with Victoria?
It was fine. It was well, it was hard. I mean, it was you got I just didn't know what it looked like and all that right at first. And then no, we had so much fun. And Roberta really let us try, because this was pretty experimental even for them. There was a lot of stuff. Sometimes they had cameras dollying and twirling down and this and that. And where the guys were all at was downstairs with 15 monitors and looked like an airport terminal, or and then there were guys up in the glass booth, and they were all with their thing. So it was really neat. Imagine what they could do now with, I mean, things have come along so much. Technologies, I mean, it's just going crazy. Roberta and them, I think, are doing a game where you got to wear the virtual headset.
VR, yes, Colossal Cave Adventure. It's and now they're working in VR, yes.
Well, I probably know 3 people that have VR at the moment, so I'm sure I need to get one. I'm sure a lot of people have it, because, like I said, when I started doing Phantasm, I don't think Victoria had a computer. I know I didn't.
Well, I mean,
still old school then.
The Williams have always been experimenting, kind of ahead of their time. So maybe the VR will be the same. So I might get one after the game is released as well. We shall see. And so then when you got the script, now I haven't got that far yet, but from what I've read, there were some controversial parts in the game, and with your character, there was very bloody scenes, and I believe there is a rape scene as well involving your character. Did you guys have any concerns, or were you spoken to about it by Roberta Williams?
Absolutely.
To help you guys, because I can imagine, especially for a video game at the time, to include these scenes, it would have been controversial back then. So did she talk to you guys to help assure you guys or anything, or did you do any practice or anything?
She definitely let us know that this was going to have some consequences, that this was way outside the boundary of, I guess what had been done up to then. But, the rape scene, the brutality of it, and I hate rape, the brutality of it, is what stands out to me, because now you watch any network channel at night, not Netflix, not Amazon, just network TV, and it's 10 times more than what that was. Roberta wouldn't even let me show my butt. I had such a cute butt then. So we're shooting from behind. It's then gonna be controversial anyway. But we didn't get to do that, so I kept my boxers.
Okay. And was it actually you and Victoria, or did you have any doubles? Or
no, everything was us.
Oh, okay. And so then with the violent scenes as well, because I just saw some scenes. I still haven't got that far yet, but it's online where your face is covered in blood as well. How did they do that? Obviously the blood, I'm sure, wasn't real, but how did they go about making? Was it all computer generated and they put it on after, or
no? The makeup was all real. She made a prosthetic, rubber prosthetic, and I pretty much had it torn up by the end of the shoot, which actually worked, I guess, for that as well. But yeah, she made prosthetics. The makeup was real. Cigarettes were real. Costumes were real. The couch I'm laying there drunk on with a bottle. The bottle was there, but it wasn't a couch. It was just a blue piece of board I'm laying on. So it was kind of cool to see it, what it really looked like,
Yeah.
It was very cool.
And how was it to like, I mean, you said you were in some horror movies before, but for your character to go crazy later on when you're possessed, how was it? Was it a lot of fun to do? To go out there as an actor?
It was a blast, I just it felt, so big to me, and then director and Roberta would say bigger. I'm like, bigger? Yeah, it's gonna be shrunk down. And I was like, oh, I didn't have that concept. Because I did a movie, The Chandler. I thought that's about as crazy as I was ever gonna have to act. And that was a movie I got offered, but I didn't know what channeling was. So, back then you went to Tower Video and you rented a video on whatever. And I watched people doing channeling and went, wow, okay. Probably looked like me when I was on shrooms at one point.
But
that was actually a pretty good little movie though.
Shrooms, yeah. And
no, The Chandler.
oh, The Chandler.
Shrooms were great. Yeah, they were great too. But no, The Chandler. That was a good movie. That was a fun movie. But I thought that was crazy. So, Fantastic definitely went way beyond that.
So yeah. So you seem to have done quite a bit of horror movies, I believe in your career. Maybe I'm wrong, but is this something that appeals to you? Do you like horror? Do horror movies, or do you like watching horror movies?
I just like to I just worked, and then I guess I got into a little vein there with the horror films because one director knows another production company. That's how a lot of the jobs came after you get rolling, and it was fun. I thought I'd be doing a lot more comedy because I'm really funny.
You are. From the little that I'm speaking with you, that's you. And I imagine you might be good at doing stand-up or impressions.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of impressions and stand-up. I did a couple cruise ships to perform on those. But that, it got boring. But it was fun. I got to work with Rip Taylor. He had a rubber chicken. Man, so I got to be the opening act for him on a cruise ship. Which was
nice.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. I only had to do like 15 minutes twice a night, and I got to be so funny. And the crowd was old, so I did a lot of impressions. Kennedy, and I got some of my mom and dad's old comedy albums, Woody Woodbury, and I don't know who these people, Bill Cosby, way back, and I just basically took some of their jokes, imitated the voice, and so by the end of the cruise, I was out there for an hour on stage, and he didn't care.
Oh, nice.
We're having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess with horror and comedy, they can sometimes go hand in hand. That in our truly horrific moments, sometimes we laugh. At least I do sometimes.
Right.
And I guess when I'm playing the game, I'm kind of like laughing a little bit because I'm thinking, oh, well, this is creepy, but I'm kind of laughing, like I'm nervous laughter, that I'm like, oh, when your character got possessed, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, I know that things happen. I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. Bad things are good. By the way, we should mention in the game, it's I felt sorry for your character, for Don, because you bought the house for yourself. Well, your character bought the house for yourself and Adrienne, and it wasn't your fault that you got possessed. Adrienne was the one who opened that.
Yes, it was her fault.
She should be the one possessed.
Art imitates life, doesn't it? Yes. My sisters are going to kill me. Yes, art imitates life. Woman's fault.
But how was it then on set in between takes? Were you guys a little bit method? Were you really trying to scare her in between takes, or were you friends on set? Were you?
I'm always playing around. I can. I'm always goofing around.
I can imagine.
So relaxed, so chill. And I was so used to doing those B movies, just and you got 18 days to 24 days and shoot everything, and so that gave me that helped a lot because I was very used to quick setups, very disciplined, get it on the first shot kind of thing. That helped a lot with that as well. And then Victoria, she was great to work with. Roberta, Peter, the director, and he came from film, which I've just been doing the most of, at that time. So that helped a lot too. It's still like a movie, David. It's just like a movie.
So that's what they told you, and kind of
Uh-huh.
It
In
was.
game form. It's like,
Or a kind of interactive movie, which and actually with you mentioned some of the props were real, but then with the blue screen, what I'm wondering, were there any times when any of your did you ever walk through a wall? If you were walking, did Roberto say, "No, David, that's a wall there.
yeah,
You're walking through it"?
a lot of times. A lot of times. We had to. We did not rehearse the rape scene. I did not want to. Victoria and I discussed it, and I said I'd rather not rehearse it. Let's
right,
just
do
let
it and
it
get it over
go.
with.
I have a, we talked about the limit, or I said I am not going to go real far. I mean, I'll make it like violent and quick, like my usual sex life. But anyway, I'm kidding. That's terrible. Totally joke. Total joke. But so and there was no sink and all that. There was that board, and so we had to do a little bit of that to see how far the board would push, so the bathroom wall wasn't moving. And then got to where we had to get right up against it, but not any weight on it. So that discipline was kind of fun to do. And the only thing about the rape scene is, that's nothing now. And
yeah.
Really, I'm just pissed I didn't get to show my ass. One good time I could have done it. But,
well, hopefully in the future, it would be very nice.
I'd have to buy a new ass now. I mean, before I can do that.
Well, we just have a comment here from Nicole Etter on YouTube, and she said it was cool to see glimpses of the making of the game behind the scenes in the trailers, and to hear insight from David into the game's creation. The soundtrack to the game is fantastically creepy. Yes, there is a full choir, I believe. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. Yes.
So have you played the game yourself? Did you play the game yourself afterwards?
Yeah. Well, we didn't play it. Victoria and I didn't play it for a long time, a year probably.
Okay.
I mean, we had 6 months of like PR and stuff, and then neither of us, it didn't dawn on either of us the levity of what we had just done or were doing. I mean, it was something cool, something outside. Really got to like Roberta, and I only met Ken twice during that time. Roberta was just great, though. I was looking at all the because her notes are in red in my script, and Peter's are in blue, and mine are in black, and there's some highlights and stuff. But it's fun reading back over the notes.
I can imagine.
Roberta, I think a lot of people would be interested in that, because she really was directing as well.
Right.
Right. We laughed so much on that set. We just had tears coming down our face. You never think that with all the gore and this and that, but
I have read that with other horror movies or games or whatever, that on screen it can be really violent, but then off screen in between takes, people are just having a great time.
Yeah, you got to remember there's a whole bunch of people standing so close to
right
what you're doing.
And so what did you think then when you played the game back? Did it bring back any memories, or was it what you expected?
I have nightmares now about it. Oh yeah, it was fun. I haven't played it live yet. I know Victoria did recently on the conversations with Curtis, with Paul.
Yes.
I popped in on a couple just to watch, and she remembered as much as I did. Because I haven't played it live yet. I'm gonna do that soon, coming up, probably for a charity.
Oh, nice.
Kick it off. Yeah, I was supposed to start off the Children's Miracle Network last year, and that was right in the middle of all the hospital stuff. So this year, I'm gonna get out of the house. Finally, I can, and just do a little work other than through the computer.
No,
And I
cool.
would love to be around all the fans. There's so many. That's why I wrote the book.
Yes, which we will get to, because when I believe it was another actor, I don't know, might have another actor in an FMV game. Can't remember exactly, because it could have been Dean Erickson, maybe Gabriel Knight. I think when he said, or maybe, I mean, it might not be him, but someone said that, for them it was a job at first. That, okay, we're going to make this interactive video game, and it's still 25 years later, people are talking about it. That there's a lot of, really passionate fans out there. So how do you feel now that just 25 or 30 years later, that people are still talking about this game that you starred in and talking about your work, your role in it, just as much nowadays? How did that make you feel?
Yeah, it seems to be more now than ever. And I never met so many or talked to so many. I've met them. So many people, some of these interviews that were 15 and 16 and 12. And one of the oldest people I've known is playing the game right now. Jesus. I'm like, wow, you either had really good parents or
yeah, or either really good or really bad.
Babysitter or something. I don't know. But yeah. So when I do play it live, it's so long, so I don't know how it'll work. I like the way Victoria and them did. I think they did 5 or 6 weeks in a row, or whatever.
Yeah. In so maybe in installments with the chapters.
But I was, watching a little bit of that, and yep, I would have killed myself there and there. And there were a couple of times I jumped out and I didn't even realize I couldn't remember.
Yeah, of course.
What was coming up. So yeah, well, maybe, the company just got bought. The rights were astronomical, they were asking. And
yes, with Microsoft. Would you be, I mean, I believe, I haven't got there, but I believe that your character didn't have a good end, I believe. But if there was a way to bring your character back, and if you're
it's show business, everything comes back.
Absolutely. I mean, Marvel movies, none of the characters die, really.
Freddy Krueger's back on his 8th visit now, I think.
Yeah, and Halloween, how many times has the character died?
The real final.
So if you were told, David, if Roberta Williams is saying, I'm making Phantasmagoria 3, or if they're going to remake Phantasmagoria 3 and they wanted you to come back, what would you say? Would you be interested, or have you done it already?
Of course I would. Of course I would. I mean, if Roberta said it, hands down. I've had about, at least 20 people in the last, 10 years, send messages, they're going to do this and do that.
And nothing happened.
Until they found out, how many millions they wanted for the rights alone. But now that's changed. So who knows what,
Yeah, who knows?
All I did was fall through the floor. I think.
Well, you were lucky because you got to work with Roberta, and then from Phantasmagoria 2, I don't believe Roberta made that game.
Yeah.
And again, the people involved in that game were great as well. But the Roberta Williams, you got to work with her.
Wonderful, wonderful people on that one too. But they had sets and even more money to work with. Plus, great people. But yeah,
have you kept in contact with any of the people you worked with on Phantasmagoria, like Roberta or Victoria, or any of the other people as well?
Yep.
Cool.
All of them that are still alive, pretty much.
Yeah, no, that's great that you kept in touch. That this was a special project. Now, as we mentioned, this was such a special project for you that you wrote a book about it. So wanted to ask you about it, because this I find fascinating. Now, I'll let you tell us what it's about and what it is. So it's Awake I Dream, I believe. You showed it there before.
Yes, here. I can't see what I'm holding up here.
Yeah, no, we can see it. Awake I Dream by David Lee Homb. So what exactly is the book then?
It's basically, it really is just a clever thank you to the fans, because I had written some of it, like, and it was character work I was doing, and we were like 2 months into shooting or something, and So I was thinking how Don was thinking, because surely he's, not crazy all the time. He does have rational moments, or flash back and forth, like towards the end.
Mm.
And so I'd written a few of these at that time. And then, of course, we didn't, I didn't know, when they first delivered these huge box of fan letters, we didn't even realize, what was going on, what was really going on. So I wanted to thank the fans because, I mean, they've just been wonderful. I mean, I got so many friends that I've never met in my life.
No, that's great.
I mean, really nice, really cool, really, really neat. And I got letters from some. One of the letters is included in the book, and she had terminal cancer, and
Oh,
her parents bought her the game, and she just said, I just got so into it, and it released endorphins, and that's all these years later, she's married with a family and everything now. So I had
mm.
to include that letter because I saw that like at 11 o'clock one night, and I was sitting there going, "What? Your eyes were so blue, and it really helped me to." I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
damn, you just don't know, And a lot of different stories, but what little effect you might have had on someone, even playing a crazy guy like that.
Yeah, I suppose at the time you probably had no idea the effect that it was going to have on people, even 25, 30 years later, that people writing those letters. That feels like,
I
oh,
wish
play
I would have taken my entire salary. I guarantee you Victoria does too. Taken our entire salary and stock.
this.
Would have made 4 times what we made actually making the movie,
Sure. Well, I
probably.
mean, hindsight is a great thing. If we go back in time and put our money to, well, Sierra or Microsoft or anything like that. But no, it's great. It's great to hear that. So you wrote this book. So it's a book. It's a book of poetry from the point of view of the character Don Gordon.
As he's going, yeah, as he goes through this journey.
Yeah, that's a fascinating idea. Did you speak with Roberta or Victoria when you were writing this book or anything, or was it all you?
No, not. I got a message that Roberta really liked the book. I haven't
Oh, that's
talked to
great. Yeah.
her. Victoria had read a couple. She read. I've been writing for a long time. She read some of the scripts I wrote, different things, and I just never pushed it because I didn't think about it until it
Mm.
was 2016, 17, somewhere around there. It was really pointed out all these thousands of fans, and and I had so much fun. I'd talk with them. They definitely knew much more about everything than I did. um, but then I thought this would be cool because the real fans of the game, the hardcore. That's why I think the reviews have been so nice because you can't read it just once, and if you haven't played the game and read it, be going, this guy, what the hell?
Well,
Why didn't she just get an Uber and leave that house long ago?
well, before I ask you to read some of the poetry, some of the expert from the book, just to some of the reviews I'm seeing here, some of the titles. I won't go through all of them. We don't have time to go through all of them, but here it says 5 stars, a great writer tapping into life. Another 5 stars, dark, beautiful, and fantastic with a PHA. 5 stars, can't put down book of poetry. 5 stars, tripping one man's psyche. And 5 stars, superb book written by a talented and wonderful person. And it goes on. It goes, and it's not just one person that's saying this. And this is on Amazon that I'm reading, and then Goodreads as well. So it's
Wow.
clearly a lot of people it's really having an effect on them.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'll have to look at Amazon. I haven't read them for a while.
Yeah, I suppose it should do wonders
Yeah.
for your self confidence because
Yeah. Well, it's funny was this is during the pandemic year. We're all trapped inside, and so that's when I started doing a little Instagram. And
yes, I follow you on Instagram. So
yeah, I just I've been very picky on Facebook and Instagram, just people, because it's just too much work to know who's who and who's a hacker and who's not, and and some dodo head keeps posting on I guess it's YouTube, something, worth $20 million, worth 22 million, worth 4 million. I mean, just all this crazy stuff people post. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. I wonder what they know I don't.
I know. Well, you've done already quite a lot, but would you like to, and I will let you choose if you wish, would you like to read a section of your book, a poem or two for people watching and or listening afterwards?
One of the best reviews was out of Ireland. That was just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow. That's
and I cannot for the life of me find the damn thing. God. Well, shoot. Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see. I might have to turn some light on, I guess. Let's see. You haven't seen the book yet, right?
No, I haven't had the chance, but I will be ordering it. I will be reading because I want to play the game and then read the book as well.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we I'll send you one and I'll send an extra one. We'll talk about it when we get off the air.
Sure, that's very kind of you.
One that you can give as a Christmas present to somebody you don't like, or give it away to who's listening, on your YouTube channel, whatever you want to do.
Oh, well, that's very, very kind of you, David. Thank you.
I'll sign the front of one, but then yours as well, but then I'll put it to you personalized inside.
No, thank you.
It goes off when we get off air.
Sure. We can discuss. That's very kind of you, because that's actually, and I think people can hear this as well. One of the first, when we started chatting on Facebook, and the first thing that I got from you was, and I swear that I'm being honest here, is your kindness. That you're a very good person. I'm not just saying it to butter you up, because you wished me a happy birthday without us knowing each other. You took the time, and I know some people might be like, well, that's not a big thing, but I always look for kind of these gestures as well that are kind of real and genuine. And I was just thinking interaction that, yeah, you're a real, genuine person. So thank you.
I talk to everybody direct,
Yeah.
I like it. I love it.
And I've heard from people who've interacted with you as well that they've all said the same thing. So, yeah. Anyway, that's a mushy moment.
When that first, well, thank you for that. It's very kind. When I was invited to that first Comic-Con thing, I really hadn't looked into it at all. And I said, oh, I've got my costume. They said, that's right. And I said, walk around. I'd love to walk around to see all the fans. But no, you be scheduled, be an hour and a half here, to do this time. But I thought I was just gonna be walking around everywhere. Because I would get such a kick out of that. Just talking to everybody.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully. Now, if you don't, would you like to read an excerpt from the book for one of the poems, or just for people listening or watching who haven't read the book, or just because I've listened to you on other podcasts or interviews, and it's really, really great when you get to read them as well. So, whichever poem you wish.
Well, let me first say another. I can't thank him enough, Rodrigo, the artist who illustrated my book. It really it blows my mind. He's got a nice file back here. He and I are going to do our first interview together in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Week or so. And I'm looking forward to that. There's a big following in Brazil. A lot of nice people. People send me pictures of the kids when they're getting born and this and that. And I mean, some of them are in college now. And I'm like, wow. It's part of the family, because I talk direct, and I'll just send a private message, and I never even knew what catfishing. See, I didn't know what all that was. So, there was a few times people would be like, this can't be you.
This can't be David.
No, it's me. Why?
David Lee Homb.
Is this a catfish? I'm like, catfish. What is a catfish? A fake person. Nope, I'm real. And then it's just funny, the reaction you get. Okay, this one, see the artwork is just,
it's really good.
And all he had was the titles. He didn't actually have the words, but that one is I Seem to Love You, and it's just neat. It's like the, in the womb with the two to the brain, and I'm just blown away. But
It's fantastic. Yeah, sorry.
I seem to love you. A person whose smile makes me forget, whose arms hold me tight on our crazy journey, helping me touch what means the most to me to protect. I celebrate the world when I know we can be alone. Just the two of us in our empty, naive world. And then, I mean, he could have done a better
Yeah,
illustration.
Jesus, that's and all he had was a title.
Unbelievable. But yeah, and we've been friends for a long time. I don't even say fans anymore. I've known these people, a lot of them, for 10 years or more. I mean, I know them better than my cousins now.
They'll
So
be interacting with them more, probably, I imagine.
they're friends. Well, yeah, it's been a good amount of book sales lately too, and just
That's
I
fantastic.
can't believe this. I only had one, knock on wood, probably gonna jinx it. Well, I only had one person that said it was okay. And I looked, the person's not even in the game. He's not even a gamer. Give me a break.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you, have you heard from anyone who hasn't played Phantasmagoria what they thought? But
yes, most of them, took a couple readings, but they read the prologue, so it sets it up, tells why I wrote it. But they still had to go back through, and then now there's a number of them that said, "Now I'm playing the game," and wow,
that's great. That's what I was going to ask you. Then have people said that they wanted to play the game after reading the book, but they have.
Yeah, it's inspired some of them. But like I said, half of them I've been talking to, on these interviews, and I go, how old are you? Well, I was 14 when I first played it. Okay.
A little bit young, but
yeah, but you turn on network TV, and I mean,
and now it's
nothing. Even the gore and stuff, and but back then that was Roberta pushed all the boundaries, and it worked. It was cool.
Yeah, she was very brave, because as you mentioned, it could have ended the company, but it actually was a huge hit and a really big game at the time. So people are still talking about it. So clearly it worked for people.
Yeah, I didn't even know the true numbers until just about 7 months ago or so. When I was talking with Ken Roberta and others, and found out some of the true numbers. I mean, I kept all the clippings. It was this everywhere: New York Times and Time Magazine and People Magazine and Interactive Magazine and Wired and Weird and World, everything. We did so many, and I kept a copy of everything. I wish I'd have kept more. I didn't know.
Yeah, of course, at the time.
I was glad I put my costume in there.
I suppose it's really good that you were able to think ahead to put it in your contract, that you were keeping the costume and everything, that just in case it's successful, and it turned out that it was.
There was I can't remember. I don't know if it's Kathy Crosby, or maybe Eric Estrada. I don't know. It was somebody I was doing something with, and this is like a 10, 12th movie along the way, and they said, "You know what? What you're doing, trying to keep your costume. No, studios won't let you." I think when I got started on JAG, they gave me the socks,
which is something, I guess.
I got something, Well,
it's not the costume.
Oh, right. Drew Carey, I got to keep the leather headband or something. I don't remember different things, but most of the studios and stuff get to keep anything.
Right.
But
yeah.
in the movies, and so that's what so I knew to earlier on, because later Victoria said, how'd you get to keep your costume? I said, I put it in there. I just thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm sure she was thinking, well, I wish I thought of that.
Well, she probably didn't want to wear the pink shirt and
yeah, she wore all through the game.
Yeah, so those backups. She's got 3 or 4 of those pink shirts and whatever. But I don't know. We pretty much, it was pretty physical, we pretty much tore up
And it
everything.
and it how long did it take you to film Phantasmagoria to work on it?
Uh, I don't remember exactly months. Well, they were working on it for a
Couple of
year and
years,
a
I
half.
read, but
Yeah.
yeah. So,
They must have started
that's a
way earlier.
long, long
Yeah,
process.
yeah. And when I saw all those computer technicians, nerds, just doing their little sections, it really made me go, wow, it's like having 100 editors on your film working every day, instead of one or
Wow,
two.
yeah, yeah. It's a huge, huge project. And then back to your book then, Awake I Dream. Where can people find the book? Where can people get the book, or where's the best place?
Well, on Amazon, of course.
It's on Amazon, yes. I think it's
And then for a signed copy, which is this is about all I've been doing lately, which is kind of cool. I got like 14 going out after Thanksgiving. I guess that'll be Monday. They're just going all over the world. I mean, they're just all over the place. And I feel,
wow.
yeah, it's just like taking those selfies at the Comic Con. I feel bad because it's $25 for a signed copy. I think it's about the same unsigned on Amazon. But the postage,
I can imagine the shipping.
it's like, I'm like, well, the book's 25, you postage, because I always take it and make sure it's exact, whatever it is. And like 1960, or $18. I'm like, fuck, I'll split the postage with you. And they're like, you don't have to do that. It's just the way I am. I'm bad they're paying the postage as they are for the book. So then I decided I will put some extra goodies in, and I've actually been doing that pretty much from the beginning.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Again, as you mentioned, that's I'm sure people appreciate it.
Yeah, I like to stick them in the book, so they're into it, and all of a sudden there's a photo, and it's Victoria and I on set with the director and Roberta or something, or makeup.
Oh, lovely, yeah,
something like that. Kind of like a hide and seek treasure thing. But I really want to thank Ricardo again, and I'm looking forward to our interview because it made the book come to life.
So are you going to Brazil with is it Rodrigo or Ricardo?
Yeah, Rodrigo. I'm not going to Brazil. We're doing a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if it's live or what it is yet. Yeah, he teaches children, art, which is I taught children acting, and had more fun with them than I did the adults, because with kids you got to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll lose them so quick. So it takes a special person to be able to, teach like that. Yep, Brazil is also on my list. It might be before Ireland, it might be after.
Well, we shall see. So if people wanted to sign copy, is that through your website or?
Yeah, they can. I usually have them send me an email.
Okay.
That way I can find out where they're at. And a couple of them wanted a signed copy of a game. I got a few of those, or else a couple books, or so I can find out exactly what they want and where they're at, and then can tell them, what it'll take. Get it there. So, and it's the email I gave you, right? David Lee Homb 1@gmail.com.
Okay, so if people wanted a signed copy, that's very good.
That's for a signed copy. Otherwise, you can go to Amazon
and get it there.
Right.
Well, fantastic. Well, I've kept you a long time here.
Really?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, for me, the time has gone by quickly. But I don't want to keep you too long.
It is Thanksgiving.
And, yeah, we are recording on Thanksgiving of all days as well. So I give thanks to you for giving me your time.
I'm going to make me a BLT or a grilled cheese and something.
Well,
and then I'll go up to the hospital and read some more to my mom.
No, well, that's very good of you. But is there anything else that you would like to mention before we finish up? To anybody watching, any of the fans of the game, or anybody in particular, or anybody listening afterwards?
Oh, I'm sure there is. As soon as we're off, I'll think about 20 things. I don't get my Adderall refilled until tomorrow or Monday. So, my miracle pill. Will you put the email address somewhere?
Yeah, I will put. I will put your email and Amazon link in the show notes and in the description on YouTube in case people watch the interview there, so people can check those out. And if they want to get in touch with you, they can. So I'll put your which is David Lee Homb 1@gmail.com. Yes.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, look, I hope that we keep in contact. If you do come to Ireland, of course, we'll have to meet, and I still have to go to Texas. I've always wanted to visit, so I will, of course, let you know. And
Wonderful.
And yeah, no, you're one of the people I've wanted to have on the podcast, and now that's off the bucket list. And cool. I will be talking more about Phantasmagoria once I can finish it. And yeah, it'd be cool having other people from the game, from both of them, on this podcast. I'll see if they would like to appear, Victoria and Paul, at some point as well. It would be fantastic. And yourself as well. And sorry, is there anything? Are you doing anything in future now? Are you writing any more books, or are you involved in any other games or anything at all?
I had a couple of games that wanted me to do a little voiceover for them, and I apologize. They know who they are. I apologize. There was just no way I could focus and do it, even though it was going to be pretty much simple thing through the computer. And then I definitely going to do a couple more movies. I'm just being really picky. I bid quantity in the early days, and so I'm just doing quantity. It's quality now over quantity.
Absolutely.
I don't have that much time to do stuff anyway, so I just want to make it something good. And I love doing movies, so I do a little of that talking. I'm gonna host a show I just heard about Merle Haggard. That's gonna be like a live 1940s production, with the bands on the stage and the Foley artists on ding dong, all that, and MC that thing. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Cool.
And a bunch there's other stuff I just can't remember it all. So
cool. So you're busy.
Not busy enough. Never busy enough. Especially when I get my prescription Monday. I'm ready to get much more busy.
Well, I hope to see you in some games in the future. Whatever you want to do as well. I have to check out some of those movies. So a huge thank you, David, for agreeing to speak to me. It's been an absolute delight. I haven't noticed the time go by.
Pleasure's all mine.
I could talk to you for hours. Hopefully we can in the future, either in Ireland or maybe at a Comic-Con somewhere. Who knows? And thank you, those of you. Thank you, David and Nicole, for your content. Anybody else who's watching us live, and thank you for listening to us in the future. Thank you as well.
And so this will be on your YouTube channel?
It will be on YouTube, and it will appear as a podcast for the audio for people who want to listen to audio. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. We'll let when we're done with this, and thank you everybody or whoever, and thank you for your time. And so let me get address and all that.